Marvel is rumored to be looking at Adam Driver for the role of Reed Richards.
The new Mandalorian Season 3 trailer just dropped. We're going to have a little discussion about that shortly.
The Michael Jackson biopic has found its director, and it's an interesting one. All that and more right here on Personified Fandom. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 8 of Personified Fandom. I am Josh Meany from the J Meany Review, but I am only 1/3 of the personification of fandom. I got my boy Ginty with me. Ginty, how you doing?
Doing great, Josh. How you been, man?
Rocking and rolling, rocking and rolling. We also got Mr. Mike Daggs from the Daggs Reviews. How you doing, man?
I am splendid on this off night that we're recording.
Yeah, getting this episode out to you guys a little bit late, but, you know, life happens. But, yeah, we got some topics for you guys. Mike, what is the first topic you want us to talk about?
So, as I said in that beautiful A-roll that we had there, Marvel's looking at Adam Driver to be Reed Richards for what must be the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. And I would say that I thought John Krasinski was Reed Richards, and I liked that. Adam Driver could be Reed Richards. I think I'd like that too. I mean, it's weird how a role can kind of like ruin how you look at a person. Like, not really ruin it, but like in action comic book space type movies like that. Now I'm just gonna see Kylo Ren, and I don't know. I don't know how to get past that.
Yeah, that's a hard one to get past. I just want them to tell me if John Krasinski is playing Reed Richards or not. Just tell me so I can start to cope with it now. You know what I mean? So I can start to
get
deal
over
with
it.
that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be that person who's like, well, if it's not John Krasinski, then I'm not gonna. No, I'm gonna watch it. Like, I can't wait. But tell me now if you're gonna break my heart. Don't wait. You know, just hurry up and let me know. But I mean, yeah, Adam Driver as Reed Richards, I think that's a really interesting choice, and that's something I definitely would want to see. That seems cool. In fact, I would like not all, but most of the actors from the sequel trilogy of Star Wars to just come on over to the MCU, because we had some great actors in that sequel trilogy that got shafted, okay? So let's bring them to the MCU. Let's give them some other roles. You had Oscar Isaacs come over and play Moon Knight. You know, you might have Adam Driver come over and play Reed Richards. Let's get Daisy Ridley in there as Sue Storm. I don't know, something.
Ooh, and John Boyega as the Torch, or the Torch or the Thing. That's great.
Or the Thing.
Just casted the movie for them.
Yep.
You're welcome. Sign your paycheck over to Joshua Meany at J Meany Review.
And have Ryan Johnson direct it. Wait. No.
Yeah, you know,
No.
man, and I think Ryan Johnson is a fantastic director. I do. I just don't think he has any business directing a Star Wars movie. But I do think he is a great. I mean, Looper is. I love Looper. I wonder if Looper's on Mike Dagg's top 100 movies of all time.
We'll have to wait and find
That's
out.
plug right there.
It's not, but it's not. But it could have been. I liked Looper. It's funny that I know this is completely off topic, but he just said that his next movie is going to be another Knives Out thing, and it's funny that they're like, it's almost like he's acknowledged that people didn't like when he did a Star Wars movie. Like, he stands by it, but he's like, people like me when I make Knives Out movies. That's all you're getting now.
Hey, whatever, man. I still got to see the second one, but
he could stick to his safe space.
Safe space.
I mean, they did sign like a deal. They already signed a deal for a couple of those films. Netflix signed a deal with Daniel Craig and Ryan Johnson, so there's going to be a couple of those coming out. I mean, I love Knives Out. I really love Knives Out, and Glass Onion's pretty good.
I have a question. Do you think that a Fantastic Four movie is really wanted right now? Like, is anybody really asking for a Fantastic Four?
I am.
See,
Okay.
and yeah,
I
am.
I enjoyed the cameo in like the sort of cameo in that was Doctor Strange 2, right? Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness.
So I enjoyed that, and then I was like, oh god, they're gonna make another Fantastic Four movie, which is fine. I liked the first ones. I feel like all of those characters are kind of ripoffs of other characters in the MCU. Like, I've always felt that way. And I don't know how much people, I don't know. I mean, if it's going to be having to do with this Phase 5, or are we on Phase 5 now? Phase 5? I got to get this straight.
Yeah.
Is
it kicks off with
so,
Ant-Man, yeah.
Yeah, so if it's going to be, relevant to them, I guess it's cool, but I don't know. It's weird that they've how many times they've tried to make this series. They did the first one when they had Captain America in it, basically.
They had the one from
Michael
the
Chiklis
80s
is the thing
that didn't work, and then they had the one with Chris Evans as Human Torch, and I liked those.
I liked
movies.
it. I liked those ones.
I did too.
I
did too.
I know Silver Surfer got weird, but that was like when they were
weird.
still trying to figure out how to make comic book movies.
Yeah,
like they were still trying. So
and the guy who plays Reed Richards in there is fire.
Exactly,
he was awesome.
He was perfect.
Reed Richards.
He was perfect. But then they screwed it up. They screwed it up with the newer one that they made with Michael B. Jordan and God, who else was even in that one?
Miles Teller.
Miles Teller was in it. They kind of screwed that one up. That one lost a ton of money. So
they did. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but it definitely wasn't what anyone was expecting, or even the direction people thought it was going to go in. It was just very weird, but it was still enjoyable. I enjoyed the movie.
There's that movie. The movie hurt my feelings because honestly, I really like the Fantastic Four characters, and when I saw this trailer, I'm like, oh, they're going left field. They're doing something completely different.
Oh yeah,
it's darker. It's a different take. I was so for it, and then you have Josh Trank who directed that movie Chronicle. I love that movie Chronicle. So you have him to come on and be the director. I was like, oh, you can't go wrong. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, yeah, you can. Like, the movie started off fine for me, and then it just hit this point where I'm like, oh, we're spiraling out of control. And there's rumors that there was a lot of studio interference. I mean, Josh Trank went on Twitter and said, that's not my movie. So I wonder what it would be like if the studio didn't come in and do all that weird stuff, because Michael B. Jordan was a good Human Torch, I think. I think Miles Teller was a good Reed Richards. I like those characters. And that scene with Dr. Doom when he's going through the hallway and he's just blowing up heads, I was like, this is fire. That's not Dr. Doom.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with those two guys. Like Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller are fantastic actors that are great in everything they do, and it's just sometimes when there's too many cooks in the, I don't know, it's such a weird thing. Yeah. It's like, I mean, you see it just like what happened with the DC with Justice League. You watch the first cut of it and you're like, what the hell? And then you see the Snyder cut and you're like, oh, that's way better. What?
Yeah.
It's completely different. So different.
Such a different movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Fantastic Four, those characters, to me, I think they need to be in the MCU. I think Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, like characters like that need to be in the MCU. I really feel that way. I mean, that's Marvel's first family, And I want to see the MCU take on the Fantastic Four, because I don't think they're going to fuck it up.
Many people, because the fact that the Fantastic Four movies were so much more, so much better than like the first couple Hulk movies, and that was like their first introduction to like that team up style movie thing. Like it was one of the first like successful ones. Like I said, the first Fantastic Four was great. The first like newer one, like the one with Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis and Jessica Alba. Like, and I'm keep forgetting the guy who played Reed Richards' name. That's unfortunate because he was fantastic. I like him.
Yeah, he was great.
He was Mr. Fantastic. But I mean, I got high hopes for it. It's hopefully they can kind of almost resurrect that team. It's just weird when there's so many goddamn heroes now.
There are.
I know they have so.
You're gonna add 4 more at once.
The problem I have with some of it sometimes is like, how do you make a world-threatening thing knowing that it's in the same universe as some of the other heroes? And you're like, what? Where? It's like in the first Ant-Man when he's like, hey, How about this? What are the Avengers doing?
Yeah,
Like,
right,
that's one of my
right.
favorite lines. Like, oh yeah, you have to conveniently shoehorn some sort of problem in so they can have their own standalone movie that's not like, oh well, where the hell is like the rest of the heroes of the
Right.
Earth? Where's? But we can.
I
See.
really
don't
want to
know.
see what they do with Doctor Doom. I mean, they're gonna do Doctor Doom, and
Yeah,
we've gotten some pretty lame Doctor Dooms in the past. I don't like the last 2 Doctor Dooms that we got. I really don't. I just
the Doctor from Nip Tuck. You didn't like?
yeah, that guy, and I like him. I
I
that
thought he
actor.
was
I
good.
know him from Charmed.
I thought he did good. I thought he
It's
did
weird
good.
because
he did fine.
he was good
yeah.
as what the hell is the name of the guy before he's Doctor Doom? Like what's the actual like
Victor Von Doom.
We almost
Von Doom.
Victor Von Doom, yeah. So it's almost like a yeah, it's almost like Ben Affleck is a great Bruce Wayne. Batman,
Yes.
Yeah.
okay, he's all right. Christian Bale is a great Batman as
We're gonna have to
As
fight
Bruce
at
Wayne-
some point, Mike. But
Okay.
that'll be
Okay,
a topic
we will.
for another time.
all
We
right.
can
Well, that's
agree
all
to
right.
disagree.
That's my opinion. I think
fine.
that Ben Affleck makes a perfect because Ben Affleck basically is Bruce Wayne. I mean, he's
Oh, yes.
he's like a solitary. Well, before he got back with J-Lo, but before he's just this like depressed, sheltered rich guy, which is
Yeah.
basically what Bruce Wayne is.
Yeah.
But you have that kind of situation where the guy who played Von Doom was like a perfect Von Doom, but as Doctor Doom, it was like he just wasn't scary. He just kind of seemed like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, then the actor in that
We'll see.
the reboot that they did, I didn't gravitate towards that character at all. In fact, that Doctor Doom
Yeah.
was garbage. He looked like he had garbage bags
He looked
on him
like
at
he had
one
trash on him.
point. Yeah, but that one scene when he's walking through the hall taking people out, I was like, "Oh, this is fire. This is the best thing I've seen
Yeah.
all year. Like this is great."
Yeah.
And then everything else was just
Well, it's
Odd.
funny that you mentioned that when it's like crap around it, but there's like one thing that's fire. It's kind of like in the Mandalorian, like the Book of Boba Fett, and see in the middle of the season they just jump back to the Mandalorian. You're like, oh yeah, this is way better.
yeah.
And speaking
this is
of that,
dope.
this
These are the best
the
episodes.
trailer for
Yeah.
Mandalorian season 3 just dropped, and it looks fantastic.
Mhm.
I
I cannot wait for
think
this
that
season.
it just doesn't miss. They're great. I love the Mandalorian so much. The Mandalorian, and I posted this on my Facebook, single-handedly has like re-sparked my love for Star Wars after
Absolutely.
the sequel trilogy ripped my heart out about them, and I really couldn't care less after watching a couple seasons of the Mandalorian. I'm like, this is why I love this franchise so much.
Yeah, it made it exciting to be a Star Wars fan again. Like,
Yes.
it gave me the feeling that I had when Force Awakens first came out. And I was like,
Yep.
oh, we're back, baby. We're back. Like,
Yeah.
it's just made by people who really care and love Star Wars. And that just shows.
They need to stop fucking around and just make Favreau, put him in charge.
Absolutely. Him and
I mean,
Dave
I don't want-
Filoni.
I don't- Agreed.
I want him and
I don't
Dave
wanna-
Filoni.
The only problem is I don't want them to get too big picture that they forget to put, because that's what makes the Mandalorian so good, is that it's condensed and tight,
Yes.
and it doesn't waste any time, and it's made by people who care. Where I'm sure that the people that are, people care about it now, but just not to that level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
It just looks good. I mean, obviously, the first 2 seasons, graphically, it just looks fucking fantastic. And obviously, bringing back a lot of the same characters that were in the first 2 seasons. I forget the woman's name, but on the planet, she's the junker who fixes everything.
Mhm.
I just loved her character.
Yeah.
She's just fun to watch. Comic
she's
relief
cool.
at its best. But oh god, I'm just like, what, March 1st it drops, episode 1, season 3.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Oh.
I do have one big lingering question here, though, right? The only problem I have with this trailer, if you didn't watch Boba Fett, you're going to be confused.
Yeah.
The way season 2
which...
ended, and then you jump to season 3, and you're like, you have this emotional scene, spoiler alert, for the end of season 2, you know, where Luke takes Grogu, and there's a whole departing scene with him and Din. No, not it's Din, right? Din Djarin.
Din,
it's the Mandalorian.
Din Djarin.
Yeah, but you have this emotional scene, like they have to leave each other, and then you have the season 3 trailer, and Grogu's back, and it's kind of like,
yeah,
well,
it is, but
mean?
You know, it's like it is kind of weird because we expect this stuff sometimes where it's like I don't want them to hold my hand so much. I want them to just get it that I watched it all. I watched it. You don't have to. You don't have to go back and show me everything that happened. We know we saw it, but also at the same time, it's like Book of Boba Fett was kind of crap. Like, if you were a Mandalorian fan, and I was okay with Book of Boba Fett. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but it was just okay to me. But it's one of those things where, yeah, like if you came from the Mandalorian and went over and was like, oh, hey, I'm gonna check this out, you might have dropped out. There might be a lot of people, like you said, that don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So
it was tough.
Boba Fett, I didn't like Boba Fett. In fact, I hated Boba Fett. I hated it. That's not Boba Fett. It's not.
Yeah,
you can't.
I didn't like
his.
My reservations for what the
he
character
doing,
was.
I'm like,
yeah,
he's not a good guy.
Boba
Fett is not a good guy, and you're not just gonna make him a good guy just because he's the lead in your show. You just make he's doing all these. That's not Boba Fett. That's not Boba Fett. You know, like fuck.
He had to change a hat.
Okay. Sure.
It is a weird thing. They just want to. I feel like they wanted to save face from some of the crap that they pulled with the sequel trilogy. So they were like, let's go back and get all the characters that everybody loves and give them backstories that nobody really asked for, and fill out things and answer questions that no one had for these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and. Yeah, that's the biggest swing and the miss with making Boba Fett some sort of good guy, and you're like, he's a fucking bounty hunter,
and he doesn't have to be a good guy. He could have been doing bad shit the whole season, and I wanted
to see him. I wanted to see him run an assassin ring. That's what I wanted out of that show.
That'd be dope.
I was like, oh, he's gonna take over and be like the head leader of the assassins and shit. Or like,
and the funny thing is, I don't know if you remember, but they planned on doing a Boba Fett spinoff. It was a movie, and then it was supposed to be a show, and then they decided to do the Mandalorian.
They're terrified. They're terrified of movies now because it's so let me get on a pedestal real quick. It's so fucking stupid that they're scared of movies, but they'll go, hey, instead of 2.5 hours for $200 million, let's make a show for $100 million that takes 10 hours to show you what the hell's going on, that's got a ton of filler that you're going to have to commit to watching, where we have to actually write well. Because in a movie, you can make up for stuff not being written well with like, hey, don't worry about that. There's more action coming in like 2 minutes. Just get through this crappy writing. We saw that with The Rise of Skywalker. You could just write crap and be like, action scene. Where it's like when there's 10 hours of a TV show, you have to actually do something. You have to probably have a full episode worth of good writing and character development, and they just whiff on it. And you're like, why are you scared to make a goddamn movie? But you'll make 10 hours of this crap, and that's. Let me come back down from it. So, like I said, I didn't really hate Boba Fett that much.
I didn't either. It was tough. It was one of those things. It was from a lot of people that were expecting a certain thing. It was hard for them to follow, and I get that because it was jumping all over timelines and this and that and backstories and
that was
this
fucking
is there
weird. When they kept going back in time and like, this is when he first got out of the Sarlacc pit. It's just weird, yeah.
So I mean, I get it, but I'm in the same with you, Deck. I did not hate it. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I definitely liked it.
Can we all agree on? I think we can that the best episodes were the 2 episodes that had the Mandalorian in them.
100%.
I mean, those episodes were And that's
Fire.
one thing I didn't like. It turned into The Mandalorian season 2.5, where like we were halfway through, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's Boba Fett? Like, this is dope. I'm loving this, but what is happening? Where's Boba Fett? This isn't Boba Fett.
I actually paused it because I was like, but did it go into Mandalorian something I didn't see? Like, what's happening right now? No, okay, this is Boba Fett. I don't know why, but it's Mandalorian.
There's
right.
a full
and then why would you
like,
put such a pivotal story arc for the Mandalorian in Boba Fett? That's huge what they did.
It's
and they put
gigantic.
It in Boba Fett?
You have fucking Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka
together
in Boba Fett
and
together in Boba
Grogu,
Fett.
And then this ultimate decision Grogu has to make who he goes with. You put that in Boba Fett.
Quite possibly, like the biggest change to the like whatever this storyline is, the most pivotal. The most, the biggest decision is made in a show that's not even The Mandalorian. It is wild. I remember going, we're in another episode and there's no Boba Fett. I don't hate this, but it's kind of weird that this is.
Yeah.
Like, again, like you said, if you didn't watch it,
you're gonna be a little lost. You're gonna be a little.
I don't know, but
I have a question.
have a
also,
feeling.
I feel like.
Do you guys think that they're scared to not have Baby Yoda in The Mandalorian?
100,000%. 1,000%.
That's the way I'm feeling too.
So here's the thing: their audience. This is the audience that they've captured with Mandalorian. It's like, from here, it's like hardcore Star Wars fans, and then there's like people that like Baby Yoda. It's like
right.
That's
like
it.
My mom.
They just yeah, exactly. That's the target audience, and they fucking know it. So they're like, oh my god. Like I'm pretty sure at some point they thought about killing him off, but they were like, we can't. His name isn't even Baby Yoda. Like, but people were like, no, it's Baby Yoda.
It's
Grogu.
Grogu.
But no, it's Baby Yoda. Like,
yeah, I feel like they're just scared.
The
Like,
child.
I was okay with them taking Grogu out of the picture. I love the ending,
I'd be fine
the
with it.
departure. I was like, okay, now we're gonna have the Mandalorian's gonna go to Mandalore. He's got the dark saber. That's gonna be a whole story arc. Like, we don't need Grogu anymore. And they're like, no, Grogu's
and it
kind of
looks like
we gotta sell toys.
It looks like that's kind of the direction. And if they're smart, they'll slowly wean it out. But they don't want to lose that audience of people that are like, oh no, I want to see Baby Yoda.
Yeah. I just wish they figured that out before they decided. It takes away from the whole season finale, except for Luke balling out. That was dope, but the emotional impact that it had when Luke takes him away in that whole scene, and the Mandalorian takes his helmet off so he can look at Grogu. Like, all of that, I feel like is undermined now. Like, he's just back.
Wait,
and they're back on
Star
adventures.
Wars undermining itself?
I
What?
know,
They don't
right?
do that.
Gasp.
They never do that. I was totally satisfied with Palpatine coming back. He didn't undermine the original trilogy at all.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh man, speaking of undermining, how do you feel about Michael Jackson biopic? Because there was the Surviving Neverland. Was it called Surviving Neverland? Yeah,
I think so. A Finding?
And
was it Surviving?
Finding,
One of them.
one of those, something about Neverland, and a lot of heat. But there is a biopic coming, which I'm surprised it's taken this long, because
It's been picked
feel
up
like we
and
went
put
through-
down and picked up and put down so much.
We went through a whole thing where they're like, hey, there's a lot of rock stars that are getting old and might die soon. Let's make some biopics about them. I feel like there was a slew of them. There was like a Beatles one. There was there was the Rocketeer. There was
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody. There was so many in
Oh,
this.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man, yeah.
Rocket
I never
Man,
got a
Rocketeer.
chance to see that.
Rocketeer was a great movie in the 90s.
That's right.
Look, guys, okay, Michael Jackson's my favorite artist of all time. When it comes to music, he's my favorite artist of all time. Always has been since I was a little kid. I love the Jackson 5 movie that they had back in the day. I thought that was really cool.
VH1.
Yup, 100%.
Yep.
I understand why it's taking so long. No one wants to do the Michael Jackson biopic, because here's the thing. either you lean towards he did it and you piss off half the fan base, or you lean towards he didn't do it and you piss off the other half of the fan base. You can't win with this movie. You can't. You're pissing. And if you ignore it, even if you ignore it, you're going to piss off a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
So that really sucks. But then you got the producer of Bohemian Rhapsody. I love that movie. That movie. And then you have Antoine Fuqua, who directed Training Day. He directed Shooter, Southpaw, Olympus Has Fallen, Equalizer, which those movies don't seem like you'd be like, oh, yeah, that guy's going to do a Michael Jackson biopic. But you get a director like that. You got Lionsgate behind it, the producer of Bohemian Rhapsody. You got the ingredients. Let's see how you cook it. That's basically the way I see it. Let's see, picking the actor to play Michael Jackson is going to be incredibly difficult to do.
Well, you can get two out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. Well, three,
actors.
Because he was black, Latino, and then white.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So, but
true.
yeah, I'm excited about it. I want to see what they do and the team they got. And like I said, I love Michael Jackson. So, yeah, let's see what they do.
No, I'm right there with you, man. I mean, whether you think he did or didn't, I mean, if you really want to even go down the road and even try to debate it, I guess. I mean, and as crazy as it sounds, like, if you really want your own actual opinion and from listening from people who have been there, listen to, I can't even say it, but Corey Feldman. Now, Corey Feldman is one of those guys who definitely has issues going on, and we all know this, but he has been against this whole thing and brought it to the forefront for years now.
Same with Macaulay Culkin, too.
Yep, Macaulay Culkin. And so I've also talked to Macaulay Culkin. They both have gone and said, like, nothing has ever happened there. Yeah. There's things that happen, and yes, we get it. It's a little odd. But physicality-wise, nothing ever happened with these people. And they swear up and down. It's like, he was just very caring. So that's where I put my stake in that aspect. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to me. I'll listen to these guys that have issues with others in the past and swear up and down nothing happened like that with him. Like, okay.
Yeah. We
hey,
already know
his music is fucking fire. I've always loved Michael Jackson. Will till the day I die.
Greatest entertainer of all time.
Bring on the biopic.
I don't know if you guys saw the newer Elvis one with Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
that one just so yeah. Going off of some of like the questionable things that artists do, it is like you said, Josh. It's a quickie. It's a very slippery slope of where do you find that middle ground of if you don't bring it up, you already know the headline of like people on Twitter are outraged because the Michael Jackson movie didn't show, some of the stuff he did in the later years. And then if they don't bring it up at all, and then if they do bring it up, in what type of light will they, people are pissed that it's shedding Michael Jackson in a bad light. So
I think the best way to do it is because I personally don't think you should ignore it because it was such a huge thing. I think you just play it neutral. You don't lean towards the side. You don't lean, and that is even going to piss people off. But that's what I would do. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, 100%. And the movie,
don't even go that much into it.
No, if you're going to make a movie about it, you want it to focus on his career and what he did in the music world.
I want to see the music.
And you're going to have this stuff. Yes, it's got to be there. But again, baseline, play it fucking neutral. Just leave it alone. Here it is. But you decide. We're not deciding for you. Decide.
Yeah. Yeah, you bite that bullet. And I'll just be on the other end of the gun. Wait. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can't even know. It's funny. I was trying earlier to think of actors like who could play Michael Jackson.
Oof.
I got nothing. Not a single person. I can't think of anyone that can play Michael Jackson. I saw a rumor. You know the kid from Stranger Things?
Yeah.
What the hell was his
Bruno Mars.
name? Bruno Mars. Hey, yo.
Yeah, no, I almost said that because
Fucking guy can sing anything.
Yeah, it's true.
Anything.
you can get the weekend. You can get the weekend to sing, do the
Oh,
vocals
I
for it, 'cause
mean,
he's
Jesus. The Weeknd, man, there's times where that man sounds just like Michael did. It's insane.
It's
Yeah, The Weeknd would
Caleb
be good to
McLaughlin.
bring in.
Caleb McLaughlin.
Okay. They were saying that he was in talks to play younger Michael in his
Younger
teenage years. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's
I'd love to see
because you
that.
could get multiple actors to do it. Or you can
Absolutely.
get one actor and paint him
Lighten
and
up his
do the
skin.
prosthetics and everything. You could do
Whiteface?
that too,
You can't do whiteface.
White
Oh my god.
Whiteface. Hashtag whiteface.
No one would bat a goddamn eye if you did whiteface.
I mean, me. I'm not even white enough to be Michael Jackson in his later years.
Not many people are, Ginty. Not many people are.
that
white
man
enough
was
to be-
pasty. Well, you could get Finn Wolfhard, the guy who Mike Wheeler from Stranger Things. You could get him. I'm looking
He's
at
got
him
the
right now.
hair.
You could definitely.
He's got the hair.
Kind of the skinny nose thing going on too. You could kind of get him to play the white Mike. Oh man.
I can't let myself succumb to how funny that was because I won't recover. So I'm just gonna roll with that one.
And then you could probably get Millie Bobby Brown with the bald wig on too.
Mike, you gotta stop.
You gotta go. Could get all of it.
Oh my god.
You just call it Stranger Things. That's all you gotta do. Just call it Stranger Things. Maybe that's season 5 of Stranger Things. Yeah, it's in the 80s. Hey.
Yeah. Was Stranger Things low key? The
Oh
biopic
my
of Michael
god.
Jackson?
Some of those moves by Vecna, the raising them up.
Oh my god.
Shit.
Oh no. Help me, someone, please.
Shimon.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's going to be huge. I think the movie's going to be huge, no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
You've got this director, Lionsgate. We'll get that first trailer. It'll spark interest. I think the movie will be huge. Will it be as good? Did you guys see Elvis?
Yes.
I did. I just watched it a few months ago. It was actually good.
Yeah.
I
So I never
really liked it.
I never ended up doing my top 5 movies of 2022, and I'm probably never ever going to drop it. So spoiler alert for that. It's in my top 5 movies of 2022.
Oh,
I watched it so many. I love that movie. I think
Yeah.
Austin Butler should win
It's-
all the awards.
It's so fascinating to see, to learn that story that I never knew.
Me neither.
Like Elvis is one of those like zeitgeist characters that you're like, oh, he died on a toilet. He was a king of rock and roll, whatever. But to learn some of the stuff how his manager like completely screwed him
Yep.
because he was like a snake oil salesman. It was like. That was wild. And I was like watching the movie going, did this what? And then I was like reading an article like as I was like watching the movie just because I was super fascinated by that story. It's pretty incredible how someone that
Absolutely, me too.
popular can get almost swindled, like
Yeah.
pretty much swindled by someone.
Yeah, and I was
Crazy.
blown away by Austin Butler's performance, man. I mean,
And
he
the
lost
story,
himself
yeah.
in that role. I mean, I
Killed
see
it.
him in real life, and I'm like, why are you still Elvis? The way he
So
talks
did you
and
see?
everything.
Did you see that he's like hired a speech coach because he was so entrenched in the role that he
Yep.
still talks like that. And I can vouch for it because I on a very very minuscule like comparison wise, every year we go camping for the weekend for like an extended weekend, and for the first couple years we would choose a new like a voice like someone to emulate. So a couple years we did like Russian accents. A couple years we did like a British accent, and we would just talk like it all weekend. Like we would talk with a Russian accent or we'd talk with a British accent. One year we did a Southern accent. So we had a lot of the like, hey man, pass me a beer, dude. Like a lot of Southern style talking, and we did it all weekend and we couldn't stop doing it. When I got home, I could not stop talking like that for like 3 days. And I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, I can't stop like just like yee-hawing around. And then I talked to my friend and he's like, dude, I can't stop talking with a Southern accent. And I'm like, holy shit. So when I hear this story that he can't stop talking like Elvis, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It definitely happens.
So we go over to the you want to talk about the Channing Tatum?
Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Is it Tatum?
No.
Tatum. Channing Tatum
for a second.
As
I was like,
so yeah. So on the next topic, obviously, Channing Tatum now owns the rights to Ghost.
What a title for an article!
When you
Tatum
put that,
owns the rights to Ghost. It's like
I did see that. I did see that like online, and then when you put it in the show doc, I was like,
"Yep,
all right, this is where we're at in the world now."
Yeah, wild.
Everything's being remade. It's like on one level, I feel like that's one of those movies you should just not ever touch because it was, for one, it's Patrick Swayze. God rest his soul. It was a great movie, phenomenal at its time. And even still, now you go back and watch it, it's still a great fucking flick.
It's classic. I mean,
not then. On the other hand, it's like okay, but he owns the rights to it. Does that mean he's going to play the main character if he redoes it?
100%.
Or is he going to have somebody else do it? But again, what could they do with that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Concept alone, I mean, you don't have to do a straight up remake of that Ghost film that we got. That concept of, he dies and then he's trying to talk to his girlfriend in the afterlife. Like that whole concept you can do so much with. So rebooting with that idea, you could make something pretty interesting out of it.
I agree.
I think they will? Probably not. I don't have a whole lot of faith in that, but you could.
I feel it's going to be a complete redo is what they're going to do. If they do anything, it'll be a complete remake of that movie.
That movie's got to be... That movie's got to be what, almost 40 years old?
Yeah,
I would say
late 80s, late 80s.
Yeah.
So it's sad to say, but it's going to be a cash grab, and it's not like it's completely unwarranted because
no,
I mean, why not? You have a backstock of movies that people are going to like. You're going to get recognition for it if you. So 1990, we were wrong. 1990.
Okay, 1990. So,
yeah.
But again, I mean, it's
still over
I understand
30 years old.
Yeah, it's a cash grab. But again, look at some of the other movies. A Star Is Born. That movie was remade 4 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the latest one was really good.
They were all. They've all been.
Apparently. They've all been. I read something about that when the new one with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper came out. That like how it was like, oh, it did really well, and it was like, it's actually the second most successful A Star Is Born movie that's been made, and like one from like the 60s was even more successful like the money they spent to how much they made. I was like, holy crap, they made that movie like 6 times, and every time it's been good because it's that age-old like tale of musician.
And kind of going back to Elvis, in that Elvis movie, they talk about how he was supposed to be in one of the A Star Is Born movies.
That's right.
I think. But yeah, it's kind of cool how that loops together there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
I
wild.
mean, I like Channing Tatum. I like Channing Tatum a lot more than I used to. Like when I first saw him was Coach Carter. Then I saw him in Step Up, and I was like, Channing Tatum, whatever. But then, I don't know, I like 21 Jump Street. Like, his comedic timing is great, and like, he was great in that. He was pretty good in that movie, Dear John, that lovey-dovey.
That movie was great.
Yeah, man, he did really good. And I was like, oh, like this guy can act. He was just choosing not to for some reason for a certain amount of time.
He's not just a buff, handsome dude.
Yeah,
he was good.
He's just a buff, handsome dude like that just gets by him. Yeah, like you're like, oh,
the
he's
movie
actually got some good acting chops.
Yeah,
the movie Dog.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
It was really fucking good.
It's funny. You know why I didn't see that? Because they played that trailer in front of every single movie I went to see that year. And I was so annoyed by the damn trailer. I was like, I'm probably never going to watch this. I'm tired of
and I watched it, and it was really good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Channing Tatum. I didn't know he had his own production company. That's actually really cool. I like when movie stars do that and make their own little thing, and they get the rights to Ghost. And I don't know, it's a huge.
So you know what's weird is I didn't know this, and I can't right now think of the movie that it was, but I just was doing research for one of the movies on my top 100, and I didn't know that Brad Pitt has his own production company. A lot of big name actors have their own production companies. Because I'll look down in like the production notes and you'll see it and you'll be like, oh, Tom Hanks production, and you're like, wait, what? Like when it's so essentially when you see an actor as executive producer, that usually means that it's their production company that's like some sort of part of it, whether it be the cameras that they finance or the set. Sometimes they'll pay the money for the set, like the locations of the set and stuff. It's pretty incredible.
It's funny how that stuff works. Like, the movie will start and they show all these different companies that were involved. Like, they do their little logos right before the movie starts. And it's like, you know, you'll have like 4 different studios all working on one movie. And, you know, they could have did this small little thing, but
to fuck it up. Or like to make it better or fuck it up. Like, that's the craziest thing.
Right, yeah. All right, so now we're going to go into our movie of the week.
Movie of the week.
And our movie of the week this week is Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, directed by Todd Phillips.
Joaquin.
Mike, what do you think about this movie?
You know, so honestly, I like it less than when I first saw it. Is everyone leaving?
Yeah, we all leave. It's funny because I cut to you and then I cut back to the whole screen and he's gone. Not a lot. I don't hate this movie at all. I still really like it. But I do like it less than when I first saw it. I wasn't as impressed with I don't know. I wasn't as impressed with Joaquin Phoenix's performance as I was when I first saw it, and I was so just captivated and like blown away by it. And this time going and watching it, like, it just didn't feel as special. And that just could be because I'm always negative and I always hate everything. But that being said, sorry, it's long-winded, but that being said, I still really, really enjoyed it. But again, just from like a 9 to like an 8.5 or something. Okay.
It was still very, very good. And I'm not, like I said, I don't not like it. It's a lot more. I don't know. I'm trying to put myself back in that time, that mindset of when I first watched it, and remember like all the shit that the movie got for people were trying to glorify mental health and all that. Like, what a bunch of crap. What a bunch of bullshit.
That movie got so much
nothing
shit.
was
glorifying violence, and
nothing was glorified in that movie. Like,
I didn't want to be Arthur at the end.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I can go crazy and shoot somebody. You're like, no, that guy's life sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's just a crappy movie for 2 hours. Not as in bad, but it's just a look into someone who's suffering. It sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ginty, what do you think about the Joker?
So, I hated it. I did not like this movie. I could not get into it at all.
Now,
I watched it. Yeah. Yeah. Shocking coming from me, isn't it? No. So here's what I'm going to say. The whole mental health aspect of it, I thought was actually very good for this movie. Not as in glorifying, but bringing awareness to mental health. I mean, that was huge with this movie. And I praise them for doing that and showing this is an actual problem and people really need help. Here you go. I get that. The acting was fantastic. Joaquin Phoenix, nothing taken away from him. He's a phenomenal fucking actor in everything I've seen him in, ever. The script was well written. The movie itself, screenplay was really good. I just could not get into the movie. And the reason I couldn't get into it is because of the casting. I love Joaquin Phoenix, but going into this movie, it's being a prequel to the Joker. Casting someone in their late 40s, early 50s to play a young Arthur Fleck, no. Just couldn't do it. For me, it just doesn't work. I want to see a younger person playing this character because that's what it should be, a younger person, not a middle to late aged adult.
So I will say real quick, not to jump into your light here, but this originally the theory for this movie wasn't supposed to be an origin for the Joker. It was supposed to be looked at like he could be the spark of what the Joker is, because if you I forget which comic book it is where the Joker's the one that shoots Arthur and the hell's his mom's name? Martha. Jeez.
Martha.
Martha.
Why did you say that
name? How
Shoot,
how
Martha
could I ever
and,
forget that?
Shoot, that shoots Martha and Thomas Wayne.
Martha and Thomas Wayne, yeah. Martha and Thomas Wayne. So there's one universe where the Joker is the guy that shoots him. There's another universe where he started a riot in which they got shot. There's so many. So this was never supposed to be looked at like that he is the Joker, like he's the actual origin of it. And the way they were trying to present it was like the Joker is like a mantle that someone just kind of takes up and replaces somebody else for it. So, but now with like the sequel coming out, it's kind of like, no, this is the origin of the Joker. And in that regard, I side with you on that. Like, I don't like someone who's in their late 40s, early 50s playing who's supposed to be a teenager at the time, or early 20s, a young man.
Yeah. And again,
more of like the Killing Joke. More of like the Killing Joke style Joker where and that's kind of, they allude to it where it's like one bad day can push you over the edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like I said before, I'm like not taking anything away from Joaquin Phoenix because his performance was fucking amazing. But my mind throughout this whole movie is like, I can't, and just, this is not who I see as this character. This just doesn't work for me. And even that alone is what wouldn't let me get into and like the movie.
Yeah, man, I think that's a totally, I get it. I get it. That's a totally fair assessment. Look, man, this is one of my favorite movies, period. It's up there. It's probably in my top 10. I mean, this movie hit me, I don't know. There's only a handful of movies that hit me a certain way where I don't want to be so exaggerative and say it changed my life, but it did something. it did something in here. I saw this movie, but here's the thing. I in no way think that this is Joker who fights Batman, you know?
Yeah.
The clown prince of crime. I don't think that's him. I don't. Mm-hmm. So I could see going into the movie being like, oh yeah, this is a Joker origin. You watch it and go, what is this? You know, but I watched it like it's this character, Arthur, and this character study, and like you said, the mental health, and just this movie to me is beautiful. What it has to say, the way it's shot. I mean, yeah, I absolutely love this film. But if you think of it like a Joker origin film, the movie's trash. I mean, this is not the Joker. You know, you have that scene where he's the first time he kills somebody and he's in the bathroom and he's doing that dance and everything. I'm like, no, that doesn't to me say Joker, but this is like. That is crazy to me. I want more of this Arthur character who calls himself Joker, and I think the movie's perfect. I do. When I watch it, I don't find anything wrong with it. There's nothing about this film that bothers me. I've seen it so many times.
You know what screws it up for me, and where I was like, I love that analogy and I respect the shit out of it because I see that. The only thing that throws me completely off of it is the fact that they're making another one. And it's a weird space. You know, I have a weird outlook when it comes to movies like that. I just think that them making a sequel almost retcons what the movie was supposed to be saying. And as soon as I left that movie, and I'm pretty sure I actually think when I made the review for that movie on my channel, I called the title of the video, "The Joker's a movie that doesn't need a sequel." And then they greenlit it for a sequel because it did so well. And I think that making a sequel and kind of canonizing it and putting it into this thing where it's like, oh, no, he's the Joker, ruins what that movie was trying to say.
Yeah.
It was trying to say that what you think the Joker is could be anybody. It could be anybody that's down on their luck and has like been beaten up by the world and chewed up and spit out by the system. And, you know, this guy, did he go on national television and kill that host? Did he have the relationship with the girl in the apartment? Mm-hmm. Did he kill his mom in the hospital? Mm-hmm. Did he there's so many question marks that are left by the movie that are intentional. The movie's made for you to guess and go, wait a minute,
to have that
did that actually happen? Like there's the whole, I know there's the duality of like when Bruce Wayne's parents are killed and at the same time he's simultaneously being like held up by the people. So it's supposed to say like the Joker and Batman were born from the same incident that they couldn't control. So it's, I don't know. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that the movie says that I don't want a sequel to this movie. I don't want Joaquin Phoenix to be in this again. I don't need to see him in more of it. And I think it's like one of those less is more situations where if I see it again, I think it's not going to be as good, and I want it to stay that way. But knowing that there's a sequel ruins it for me a little bit.
A
lot of it, not a little.
Yeah, I actually want to go back and rewatch it again and try to like just make my mind go numb with the whole Joaquin Phoenix aspect.
Take this is an origin story out of it, and it's a lot better for it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I would hate this film if I had this, like, I mean, even the age difference, you know, when he goes up to Bruce, he goes to Wayne Manor and he puts his hand through the fan, he makes a smile with Bruce's face. Like, you're looking at these two and you're like, this guy's not going to be able to go against this guy when he's in his 20s and 30s. You're going to be in a wheelchair, my man. Like, but that was
matter of fact,
that was the movie. I feel like telling me this is not that Joker, and we want you to see that. You know, there's these things that happen that it's like, yeah, remember this is Arthur Fleck. This is not the Joker.
Like, if you take out every sense of like any interaction with Bruce or the Waynes or anything, and just keep him an everyman, it works so much better than if you include these things. And I feel like it's proof of that was one of the things that like a studio had control of and was like, no, we have to like put this, like wrap it into the Batman universe so people will understand that this and this. And it just feels like a creative choice that's like, don't make it like that. Like, you can call it the Joker. We get the visuals. Like when he dyes he puts the green in his hair and you're like, oh yeah, shit, now he looks like the Joker. Like leave leave this is the Joker's origin story. Leave that the fuck out of it. It's so much better. It works so much better without it. Because, like you said, this guy's not going to fight anybody right now.
Jesus,
he gets his ass kicked the whole movie. There's no way he just becomes some guy who can fight somebody at all. But
I mean, Arthur Fleck himself, that's not the Joker. The way he acts and everything. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a few moments in this film where I was like, all right, you're kind of feeling like the Joker. Like when he first puts the makeup on and he's in the elevator and then he comes out and he starts dancing and everything. I'm like, okay, the Joker would do this. This feels like the Joker right now. He's dancing down the staircase. So I'm like, okay, you're giving me that flavor. But then, then he'll do something and I'm like, oh, no, it's Arthur Fleck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing about the sequel, I have confidence in it because Joaquin Phoenix doesn't just do movies to do movies. He doesn't. And he and Todd Phillips said that they both weren't interested in the sequel. And I don't think Joaquin Phoenix he doesn't seem like the type of actor where it's like, oh, but we got to do a sequel because this one made so much money. You got to do it. If he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to do it. And he said that he read the script and he was very moved by it. And I think you can continue this this idea that it's not the Joker. It's separate thing, but it has those elements of Joker and Batman in it. Like you have Lady Gaga, who's basically going to be Harley Quinn. But then you can have this Harley Quinn character who isn't Harley Quinn from, the cartoons and comics and movies. It's just this person who kind of has like the same name and some of the same attributes, but it's a different character. And then the fact that they're doing this as a musical, everything about it seems weird, but everything about the first one seemed weird. So I think they're going to keep that same flavor and keep it not like this. Arthur Fleck's not going to meet Robert Pattinson's Batman. I'm telling you right now. I mean, obviously, you saw the
hope
Batman.
Not. God, I hope
you saw the Batman.
Not.
They have
Please
their
don't.
Joker.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Which can we talk? I don't. They're doing some weird stuff, man. Like I have faith in it, but it's a lot of weird shit.
I just think you should leave the Joker alone. You act like Batman doesn't have this archive of villains that you can be doing. Where's Mr. Freeze? Where's Mr. Freeze?
Get out! What's Arnie doing? I want to see.
Mike,
you know what the dinosaurs?
Bring on the Penguin.
Arnold Schwarzenegger back and do Mr. Freeze and do it seriously.
Okay, everyone.
Can act.
Okay, everyone. Chill.
Danny DeVito can still do the Penguin.
Hey, I just read a thing actually, not about that, but I just read a thing that they really shortchanged. What's his name there? God, why am I forgetting his name? From the Batman Forever and Jesus Christ, this is super embarrassing. Why am I forgetting his name right now? Bat Nipples. From the who played Batman in that movie we're talking about?
Clooney?
Yeah, I don't. I'm having a brain
Nipples.
freeze right now. Bat Nipples.
Bat
He
Nipples.
answered the question for me. I knew he was talking about.
Yep. Exactly.
It worked, right? It's not stupid. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it
Bat Nipples. Oh, George Clooney.
But no, George Clooney was perfectly. I mean, he is He is
such
Batman.
a great
He's forever-
Bruce Wayne too, man.
He was great, but that movie had such bad writing that it's almost comically great. How bad those movies were.
Schumacher should have it was Joel Schumacher, right? That's the director?
Yeah,
he should have never got his hands on Forever and Batman.
Well,
and Robin.
they
I
could
don't
have
think
worked. Tim, they could have worked. It's just
I think you should have kept
there was
let Tim Burton do his thing. I know it got weird and some weird shit was happening.
But Tim
Let
Burton,
Tim Burton
knows
do his thing.
he knows what he's
Michael
doing.
Keaton,
what a strange, what a weird. Has Batman had? I know, and we're way over now. This is just going into extra shit now.
Yeah.
But is it weird that the amount of Batman movies, the ups and downs that these fucking things have had?
I mean, you've had the most ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, you had Adam West Batman,
Yeah.
But then you got Dark Knight with
Up
Christian
the
Bale.
sideways,
How did you
sideways, this background here, climbing it.
Gee Willikers Batman, we
boom,
went from
pow,
that
crash to
Look, man, I love Batman and Robin. Love that movie. God, it's one of the worst movies ever to be made. But I love that. I grew up with that movie.
That's
I was
like
a little kid when that movie came.
That's like the closest to the actual like comic book cartoon that we grew up with. You know what I mean? Like that's the closest.
It's very much inspired by the Adam West Batman. There's a lot of elements from that in it.
No one else has had Robin in their movies at all. Other than those,
me. I want Robin, and a lot of people shit on it.
Yes.
Like, oh, you're gonna do Robin? Like, it really doesn't make sense. No, I want Robin.
You can like we want a Michael Keaton, older Michael Keaton with a younger like. I want a Batman Beyond movie, like that would be fucking awesome if they do it right.
McGinnis.
If they do it right,
absolutely, absolutely. You know what is Return of the Joker? That was the movie, right? Return of the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
If you did a live action version of that, I mean, we could be talking.
And I know
Oscars.
I know the script of A Killing Joke live action's been going around for decades now.
Yeah, I mean that's what I thought the Joker was gonna be. That's what I thought Joker was going to be. Killing Joke.
And they kind of, they kind of go for it. They kind of go for it because there's one point when Joaquin goes, I've had a bad day, and that's kind of how the comic starts.
Yeah, that's all we got today on Personified Fandom. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Mike, where can they find you?
You can find me at Dags Reviews on YouTube and Facebook. I've been trying to update the Twitter. I see Toke Porn has himself a drink over there. I'm just still knocking away. We're halfway through my top 100 list, so if you want to go check that out, I started posting the pictures now, so like pictures of all the movie posters on there and all the numbers and where I'm at in the rankings. It's fun.
Absolutely, Mr. Ginty. Are you going to take us into the drink of the week?
I am. I am gonna attempt to make my own version of a Moscow Mule. So I have good old cheap Granite State vodka. $6.99 for a handle.
Oh, what's it taste like?
It'll clean your driveway of grease.
No idea, but it is.
And you can drink it.
It is 80 proof. A little bit of sour mix instead of lime juice. Instead of ginger beer, I'm using Barrow's Intense Ginger Liqueur. And this stuff is ginger. It's fantastic. And obviously, I don't have ginger beer, so I'm going to use a little bit of ginger ale for some bubbly. Just to give it a little fizz. And, well, give it the old finger stir. And yeah.
See some getting in the beard there.
Oh. I'm making more of that tonight. That was delicious.
No measurements. You don't pass out in the next 45 seconds. I'm equally impressed every time he does it. He chugs it, and I'm like, I said it last time. I feel like we end this video, we end everything, and Kinty just.
Nope. Telling you right now. Give it about 10 minutes after we send everything. You'll see me on live on TikTok.
That's right.
Be doing the same stuff.
Hey, so we got the video. I got booted one night when I was watching your live. I got kicked from that. I was just checking it out, and someone who was like hosting it booted me.
What'd you say, Mike?
I didn't
Nothing.
say shit. I didn't say anything.
So that would be someone. So someone's either the host did it or one of their moderators did it, because they probably looked at it like, oh, this person doesn't have it as low follow. There's like, there's nobody. This has like no action on this page. No, I want them out because they think you're a troll or going to report somebody for doing something stupid.
Yeah, no salty feelings about it. I was just like, I popped in and you didn't say anything, but because it wasn't the night that you would like you gave me a shout out, but it was another night I just jumped on. It was a Friday night, And I went to watch, and then someone like booted me, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Right?
All right.
Like, what?
Okay.
But Ginty, where can they find you?
So talk to him for me.
So you can find me on TikTok, Coke.24_NR, or on Instagram at Coke_official. And the official is actually a 0 for the O.
Hey.
And then Eric Tokenel on Facebook. And Drinking with Toke on YouTube.
Absolutely. You can find me at the J-Meanie Review on YouTube. We got some exciting stuff. We'll have more clips out for you guys. We are going to try to get our episodes out for a podcast version, audio only. Going to try to figure that out, but we should have that out to you. But yeah, we got some news coming out for you guys, so stay tuned for that. And until next time.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
You bastards. Oh, hey, look at you. You made it to the end of the video. Well, if you like what you saw, be sure to hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button. Should be over here, I hope. Also, check out some of the other videos we have on the channel right over here. Do it. Click the video. Click the video. Dude,